same level, and you cannot reach beyond that. As far as applications are concerned, yes, that was, and I say was, very much true. Nowadays, not even that anymore. I just recently came from a visit in Silicon Valley to all the big names in the technology, starting from the old dinosaur ones, Microsoft, and small dinosaur like Google, which is becoming. I was also in Facebook, I was also in Zynga and some other players. The cost of development, be it in vendor-based production like Microsoft, Oracle, or whichever, or MySQL as well nowadays, compared to the ones that are in an open source platform, is more or less the same nowadays. Where do they get the money from? And where do really money lies is in the market and advertisement. So that is the only place where big companies, small companies are now targeting. They are not worried anymore about the cost of production. Is it on an open source or whatever other source platform? It's only a matter of where they will place that product and how they will sell it. Even that is not anymore a question. A chief technology officer from Apple said, in 2015, at the latest, we will not sell any apps anymore. We will not sell apps. We will get our part of the deal only from ads. So it's not apps, but ads with double D. So that would be my answer to your open source. I am also one of the guys who wishes to promote that within this society and all that. And I think Professor also pointed out that partially in comparison to China, but we have to take it a bit differently.
Okay, I want to have also an insight from Vishal on this matter. Vishal, you have been involved in the many entrepreneurship companies here in Kosovo and in Albania. I want you to tell us about the usage or not of open source solutions and services in those endeavors that you had here in Kosovo and Albania. Why you use them or why you did not use open source solutions?
I don't know whether I will try to redirect my answer and then maybe talk about something else, having in mind competences and my experience. I really don't have any more and better to add on the dilemma of open sources or not, what Dritan has already mentioned, but maybe putting the part of the focus and some concerns on infrastructure, which in many presentations is something which is understood itself, having in mind that the access to the services nowadays has been somehow bridged also with mobile technology, but yet I think that also, which was presented in one part of Professor's presentation, the penetration of infrastructure, what is presented as internet penetration, is at a big concern here in Kosovo compared to the region and to the target. So I'm sorry that I'm not answering directly to this because I wouldn't see myself so much involved, even in my experience. I'm what I usually call myself an infrastructure guy, rather than a soft one using the benefits of the access to the applications. But nevertheless, again, the dilemma open source or paid, not free, or how should I call those applications, is less relevant rather than whether you have really access to capacities to use applications or even to develop them, etc. To use them in a sense of not for your sake, but for making a difference in the market or making a difference in your pocket. And in that sense, I'm open also to either questions or to present some of my experience for the sake of that, just to use the opportunity that I started to talk. The situation in Kosovo is, compared to the region, quite significantly advanced, and there are many reasons.
Okay, for sure. This is only the beginning of our discussion, so we're looking forward to have other insights. Is there any question that wants to be raised by any of you at this moment?
Yeah.
Yes.
I can speak to that. I have a question for Mr. Derin. You mentioned competition, competing Kosovo with international markets of software. Apparently, for an innovation to happen, it must be the right level, how to say, the right place where you go and work and you innovate. What do you think is the most critical one point that government should do to spark innovation and software development so people from Kosovo could compete with international markets?
First of all, I think innovation doesn't come itself alone. In order to be innovative, I think you need to have a broad knowledge of issue that you are dealing with. As we have deep knowledge of that, on top of that then comes innovation. So innovation is the latest step of knowing the area that you are studying. From my personal experience, I have two patents, one in Germany, one in the US, patent regarding the electronic transaction in the internet. So it comes on the top of the whole knowledge that you gain during your lifetime experience. The main, let's say, protector in this case is the law, the rule of the law. So the Kosovo has a law of intellectual property rights. How it is applied, I think most of us know it. We are still lagging behind other countries in this regard, but the law is the only one that protects us. All of us can go and walk in our city and buy, let's say, the Microsoft Office with 1 euro pirate copy. And of course that we do not, let's say, have an idea about the cost of developing such software. But intellectual property can be protected only by the law. This is my opinion.
Yes,
I have a question. As all of you know, I didn't live in the country here for a long time, and the word torrent I learned first when I came here in Kosovo. Okay, so enforcement laws, because we do have the laws in paper, but like a lot of other things in our society, it's not enforced. We do a great job in putting things in paper, including the Constitution, the best in the world and everything, but then when it comes to enforcing it and really applying it in the society, it's a problem. I will have a question from all of you and also the students. What would you like to see the government do to really open the doors of the IT sector to develop in the country? We all say that IT is the future of the youth of Kosovo because we do have the youth talent and everything, you know. But what are the steps? I mean, I'm not talking about a full strategy, but what are some of the steps that the government or the policy makers or the decision makers can really undertake so to open these doors so this youth can develop and the sector can develop in this sector?
Maybe just to add to your question, just for the audience, I think most of them might be aware, but just for the audience, the old government, neighboring countries, the government of neighboring countries have a Ministry of ICT. Just adding to your question.
Okay, somebody else would like to add on this issue?
So you think
let me just say that there's also discussing about this would bring also some politics into this discussion. So let me just redirect this discussion towards something which is very, very important, what we saw here in terms of economic development of Kosovo. Mr. Reza has said there is 20% of internet penetration in Kosovo, and he has mentioned some European initiatives, including blue card initiatives for the skilled workers in the information technology sector. I think that was a great point. You should be aware of that. People from all around the world now can apply for blue cards in the European Union.
This doesn't help Kosovo ICT section at all.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So
But
the question
in terms of economic development, I want to discuss why we have such a low, for example, penetration of 20% penetration to internet, and what should we do in order to boost, using IT, to boost the Kosovan economy. This is something that I would like to discuss. In terms of economic activity, in terms of new economy, how should IT be involved in the...
Maybe just to start to discuss, and coming back also to my, let's say, politics and to my engagement in the politics, as usual, decision makers must be aware of the role of ICT. As you have here in A.U.K, the people that are here are very aware of ICT, and therefore you are dealing with this subject and this panel today, because you're aware of the role, of the importance, the strength of the ICT. And I think also in the government, people that make choices, that make government decisions, they should be aware of the ICT, the role of the ICT in the government, society in general. So other countries do not have just accidentally Ministry of ICT. Issue that somebody raised with you in the beginning, VAT exclusion, is one of the, let's say, topics that must be also raised by this ministry. In the Montenegro, country smaller than Kosovo, Deputy Prime Minister is also at the same time the Minister of the ICT. The Macedonia, I think the two last governments have ICT ministers. Serbia the same. Lastly, in 2010, Albania, against Poland, the Minister of ICT. The idea behind the ICT ministry is that it would be somebody that can go to the Prime Minister, can push laws without making an appointment period. So that's the idea, having a ministry that is very close to the Prime Minister's decision, to the government, to the place where the decisions are made for the country. And of course, it might not be a minister like a Minister of Finance, which exists in 100 years, but the minister will establish, first of all, the infrastructure, acts on that, and afterwards will be, let's say, then in the Ministry of Economical Development. But for the first step, building the laws, building this VAT exclusion, etc., must be somebody that is very near to the Prime Minister. We had that such discussion like in previous government, should be an agency, should be a ministry, but for now, as you know, the political situation probably will be under the Ministry of Economical Development.